Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm gonna show you the 10 most obscure, or rather the most unknown JRPGs on the PlayStation 4. And get ready because most of these games are actually pretty decent. Ha! That's cool, right? Anyway, let's begin! Number 10. Summon Night 6 Lost Borders. I'm pretty sure the series itself isn't that obscure anymore, but a lot of people still missed its latest release. It's actually a crossover of the entire series, including characters from the Only in Japan games, but also from Summon Night 5 on the PSP. It was localized by Gaijin Works, the new company from ex-employees of Working Designs. Now, Lost Borders is a strategy RPG with some cool features. For starters, your characters can move around in grid-based areas around the maps. Besides the usual gameplay for most tactical games, this one includes the summon features. Characters will be able to summon a creature for a spell, a buff, or a debuff. They will also be able to do joint attacks called Summon Assist if they're nearby, or even summon burst kills, which are large area of effect attacks that do massive damage. I like this battle system, it's pretty darn cool. As for the story, Raj lives alone with his pet companion in what seems to be a deserted land. Objects mysteriously fall from the sky, so he lives by hunting them down. That is until characters from the other Summon Night games start falling down from the sky as well. You can tell the rest of the plot will revolve around them trying to go back to their worlds while Raj solves the mystery. It doesn't really matter if you play the other games or not, you can still enjoy this great game nonetheless. Number 9. Dark Rose Valkyrie. Like many compile hard games, it got mixed reviews, but I thought it was a very unique RPG. You control a captain who's in charge of the Valkyrie force in a semi-post-apocalyptic world. Your mission is to defeat the chimeras wandering around the city. You'll go around deserted parts of them, like parks for example, and engage in battle with these monsters. The battle system is fantastic here. You can either attack, use skill, or even charge. Attacking lets one of your 4 active party members perform multiple combos at once. Once you've broken the enemy guard, other options might appear like joint attacks to do massive damage. Obviously some enemies are stronger against certain elements and so on. It's a great system due to its fast interface controls and combination attacks. You'll be doing a certain amount of quests until you improve your captain status. It's also one of those waifu simulators like pretty much all compile hard RPGs. But each girl has a different personality which can help into performing better in battle, although at the cost of something important. There's also a traitor in the midst, and you eventually will have to find out their identity, which leads to 15 different endings. Overall, it's a pretty cool game, but it's very unknown like many other RPGs of this company. Number 8. The Witch and the 100th Night 2. That's right, if you didn't know, the original game had a sequel. Only in name though, as story-wise they aren't related at all. It's still an action RPG played in a mix between top-down and isometric view. You control once again the 100th Night, now summoned, to fight under 2 different characters this time. Amelie, who's a member of an organization that fights witches, but somehow ends up helping one of them. And of course the witch Chelka, who possessed the body of Amelie's younger sister. The story is funny but somewhat compelling, although it's not the reason you'll play this game. It's all about the action since the controls are better here than before. Once more, your little knight will be able to use a variety of weapons to use as you see fit, depending on the situation. You'll mostly traverse a few long areas until you eventually encounter the boss. So in the end, it's a pretty basic action RPG but quite fun to play. It may not be as cynical as the first game, but in terms of gameplay, I found it to be better. Number 7. Demon Gaze 2. Another sequel you probably didn't know existed is this one. It takes place a few years after the events of the first game, but now with new characters and plot. The city, however, seems to be corrupt, and a few political figures probably involved in the disappearance of a woman. She's the stepmother of the two main heroines, so your goal will be to lead the protagonist and his party to uncover the dirty secrets of the city. Once again, it's a dungeon crawler in first person, and you'll be traversing the city or other bizarre looking areas. Up to 5 characters can join you during exploration and battle. Combat is taken up in turns, and as usual, your custom characters will have skills based on their class. Everyone will have unique demon skills, and by demonizing them, they can fuse with your main character's weapon. You'll obviously cause way more damage by using this, but once it's over, your whole party will be more vulnerable. The game's still brutally hard like most RPGs of its kind, but I did find it more interesting than the first one. Number 6. Crystar. Crystar is a very dark and very weird action RPG full of gothic style. Upon being forced to enter Purgatory, Rei loses her sister Mirai. She's pretty much the only family she's got left, so she swears to find her by traversing the place. To gain the ability to fight the revenants in Purgatory, she signs a contract with 2 conniving twins who are pretty much the administrators. So starts Rei's quest to find Mirai, while other girls, each with their own purpose for fighting here, join forces. There's 4 main characters total, each controlling very differently. You can only play as one though, but you can switch to any of them at any given time. The action here is very solid with responsive controls and great hit detection. It's not your mindless hack and slash though, so you need to plan your attacks accordingly for a little bit. It's called Crystar because in order to gain accessories with buffs, you need to have Rei cry the tears he absorbed by defeating certain enemies. I love the art style in this game, and some of the dungeons look absolutely gorgeous. I wish more RPGs of this kind were made nowadays. Crystar is a great game, and I dare say it's probably the best in this list, so definitely give it a chance if you can. Number 5. Dragonstar Varnir. Another one by Compile Hard, published by Idea Factory. Sephi is a knight that belongs to a squad fighting witches and dragons, but one day he accidentally finds out he's a witch himself, so he deserts with the help of some witches to the witch village. The rest of the plot will be about uncovering the grim life of the witches and to stop the Empire trying to destroy them. Visuals and graphics look dark here, somewhat gothic, but don't be fooled, it's actually nothing of the sort. The battle system is very unique here. Your 3 party members will fight on layers. They'll do more damage depending on the enemy type and position. You'll have to move up or down to execute your attacks against some of them. Also, the characters can use their witch power to transform and obviously do massive damage to them for a limited time. So in terms of battle, I think it's a pretty decent game. Story and characters, however visually appealing, unfortunately leave a lot to be desired. It could be a hidden gem though, just far from being one of the best. Number 4. The Lost Child. Hayato is a journalist for an occult magazine, and he is investigating mysterious suicides happening at a station. Close to finding out the source of the problem, he gets thrown into the tracks, but is saved by, well, this woman. Yeah. Her involvement in the case opens new doors to continue the investigation, which seems to be leading to a sinister plot. Anyway, the premise here is fantastic, but the clumsy fan service kinda reduces the interest. The Lost Child is a dungeon crawler in first person, also released on Steam, the PS Vita and even the Switch. But it didn't succeed on any platform because of mixed reviews and a sore lack of marketing. Battles are played in turns with up to 5 party members. The 2 main characters will fight together, but the rest of the party will be monsters or guest characters. One such guest is the guy from El Shaddai, as this game is supposedly part of the same universe. In the end, The Lost Child has some really dark ideas for its story, and it does pull you in the more you play. But like many other games of its kind, it's very hard and highly repetitive. Still pretty decent though. Number 3. Mystery Chronicle One-Way Heroics. This is a dumbass game, but in a good sense of the word, as it's not to be taken seriously. The world will soon be swallowed up by the void, so your goal is to move forward, to the right of the screen to be precise, and find the culprits to stop them. It's a roguelike RPG with randomly generated areas. You know them, right? The type where if you move, the enemy moves at the same time. Fighting is basically the same as if taking turns to attack each other. However, the more you advance, the more the void swallows the screen, so you need to manage your time, your resources, and your movement strategically. Else you'll get swallowed up too by the left side of the screen. Often you'll run into towns where you'll be able to talk to characters, get info, buy items, etc. And that's basically it. Number 2. Destiny Connect TikTok Travelers. This is literally an ideal RPG for kids, as it is totally aimed at them. One day, time within the city stops and leaves everyone but your main characters immobile, so you'll need to do some time traveling to find out what's going on and fix the errors of the past, present and future. It's interesting and unique, but it's been done before by several classic RPGs in the past. Destiny Connect's gameplay is highly traditional otherwise. You'll travel across areas, dungeons and towns, fighting enemies in between. No random encounters, so your kid won't have to suffer like we did in the past. The battle system couldn't be any more basic as well, played in turns with your 2 kid characters and the big ass robot. He's the only one that can change into different and or more powerful forms, and you can also customize him, so pretty much that's where the game's variety comes from. Like I said, perfect for kids or even for beginners into RPGs. Number 1. Mistover. Mistover is a love letter to Darkest Dungeon. Another digital-only release, but at least it's got an Asian physical release with English subtitles. Just like Darkest Dungeon, it's very roguelike with randomly generated areas to traverse. It does look gothic and dark like its influence, but with cute anime characters instead. Mechanics are basically the same, including the hunger system, the fatigue, a crazy system from it. The navigation though is from a top-down view instead of 2D, but it will also play like most roguelike RPGs out there. The battle system, however, is totally different. It's played in turns with your characters in one side of the screen. It's important to notice the layers for the formation of both parties, since the enemies can do the same. For example, some characters will be better used up front, others in the middle, and others in the back. So recruiting generic class characters and playing around with these formations is pretty much the gist of it. In the end, the game's unique and fun, but it doesn't really stand out much, except maybe for being extremely unknown. Right guys, that's it for this video. Those were the most unknown JRPGs on the PlayStation 4, in my opinion of course. Check most of them out, as they are, in my opinion, once again, pretty darn decent. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends. See you next time!